Can you talk about 2 Kings 2:23 through 24? Doesn't God say you shall not curse anyone, anything created? It is somewhat controversial, especially to non-believers. Okay, so let's talk about that. So if we go to Romans 12:14, Paul tells us, bless those who persecute you, bless and do not curse them. There are plenty of times in the Bible we are told not to curse. Why? Because we are supposed to be the example of God. We are supposed to be his representatives on earth. So especially for us Christians who follow the New Testament, who are part of the New Covenant, yeah, we want to show love and not hate. So what does this 2 King passage have to do with? Well, it's a fascinating one. It's about Elisha. He went up from there to Bethel, and while he was going up on the way, it says small boys, but if you translate it accurately, these were dangerous hooligans, came out of the city and jeered at him, saying, "Go up, you bald head, go up, you bald head." And he turned around, and when he saw them, he cursed them in the name of the Lord. And 2 she-bears came out of the woods and tore 42 of the boys. Okay, so first off, let's deal with the big thing that everyone's going to bring up. These were not young kids. You wouldn't have just 42 random young kids wandering around in the wild. Parents did not do that even back then. These were youthful boys, kind of like a gang, and they were intending him harm. But let's go ahead and answer the question. Why is it okay for him to curse them, whereas we are not allowed to do that? Because while we are representatives of Christ to the world and reaching out to others to show God's compassion and love, Elisha was God's representative specifically to the people of Israel who were already supposed to be that example of God's compassion and love. They were supposed to teach the world, be the example to the world of how to follow God. So as God's corrective representative, he had God's authority to do what was necessary. Now, being a prophet also means he was in communication with God more than the rest of us. This means he knew that God wanted to show them that there is a penalty for challenging God's chosen corrective prophet. Because it says when he saw them, he cursed them. He didn't just blather it out. Clearly, there was an indication from the Lord that this was what needed to happen. Elisha had more words from the Lord and more miracles than even Elijah. So the reason why it doesn't make sense is because we are not corrective to a group of believers. We are the believers themselves. And God no longer corrects us through assigned prophets. He corrects us through the Holy Spirit.